What is the strangest compliment you have ever received? I was minding my own business in a New York bar. I was sleepy and yawned a lot because it was late. This random person who I'd never met before approaches me and asks me a question. Are you a native of Boston? You yawn the way people in Boston move is yawn. I'm from Boston. And he was from Norway. That's incredible. I love when people can pick up things like that based on very small clues. The movers got it right for once. How do they get the accent so wrong, but the yawn so right? Wait. People from Boston don't sound like ahhhhuacawpp. I'm also under the impression they yell everything. Years ago, I was working out at my high school's gym. This young lady approaches me and says something along those lines. It's completely unjust. I'll never have ankles as good as yours. No matter how much I work out. You're ducked. Prior to storming out, I'm also a man. This person was probably my mother, lol. If your mom isn't actually a comedic genius and actually cares about her ankles, tell her to get into ballet classes. Ballet technique classes are just for exercise and refining skills. I was told that I have nice legs by some random guy that didn't have legs at Walmart once. Well, say goodbye to your legs. Soon will be on sale in eBay. I dislike people with no legs. I'm lactose intolerant. A random girl passed me at the mall one time. We made eye contact for maybe a second. Then she just said nice pants and kept on walking. My roommate said she was talking about my butt, but I like to think I had some sweet pants on that day. Meanwhile she's kicking herself. Nice pants. Who says that? More people than she thinks, I bet. I was washing my hands in a gas station, and this lady told me I'm very good at washing my hands. Then she leaned close and said, "No, really, I'm a health inspector, and I'm very impressed." Well, your hand washing is health inspector approved. Put this on your resume, please. One time, a dude selling solar panels door to door told me this is 100% meant as a compliment, but you totally look like John Travolta in Grease. I'm a woman, but to be fair, I do kinda look like John Travolta in Grease. I have been called diplomatic 4 times by completely different people while doing different jobs. I don't think I've ever heard anybody else casually described as diplomatic. LOL. This means you can tell someone to go to heck in a way that they look forward to the trip. You have a very swan-like voice. She did mean it as a compliment, but she'd never heard a swan, so she was just going off of how swans look. I imagine they sound like angry geese, which doesn't sound like it'd be a compliment, or it'd be a passive-aggressive insult. I do not like the cobra chicken. I like your teeth. What do you do to them? I was so uncomfortable because I replied by saying I brush them with toothpaste. You have a very expressive face. I stumbled out of an after-hours club at like 8 AM and hopped on transit home. I scanned the bus and found a seat. Once I sat down, another guy around my age said that. The guy probably knew I was ducked up and messing with me. Still makes me laugh. I was assisting an older lady trying to fill out an unemployment claim, and she looked down and said, "MMM, you have nice veiny hands. I love veiny hands." She's a nurse or a vampire. How many guys out there got compliments on their eyelashes? I do. You're very photogenic, but don't for 1 minute think that means you're beautiful. You're not. Emergency room. Thanks. When you cry, you look like a sad otter. It's very cute. Said to me as a 27-year-old man. In their defense, otters are adorable, and age is not inversely proportional to adorableness. I was told by a random lady in the grocery store that I have birthing hips. I'm a 26-year man. Not sure if it was a compliment, but it was definitely strange. There goes that high-waisted man, he got feminine hips. Oh, that's the thing I am sensitive about. I was dressed as a zombie for a scare acting job at a haunted house full on gore. Horrendous outfit. The works. I scared a group of lads, and then as they were walking away I heard, "Dude, was it just me, or did that zombie have a fantastic ass?" Stupid sexy zombie. A homeless man once yelled out, "Hey I sexy Jesus," at me. So that was nice. I read this in the Oppa Gangnam tune. You have the appearance of an attractive older woman. Someone once told me I look like X-Men. After returning to the office post-COVID, I got told I look way less fat in person. A friend recently told me you have a very conventionally attractive laugh. I wasn't paying attention to how I was laughing at the time, and I'm kind of a wreck over wondering how I was laughing to be able to recreate it. I probably laugh entirely differently now that I've been alerted to it. I've been told that my laugh sounds like a laugh, like if you made a Wilhelm scream of a laugh. They didn't say it like a compliment though. I, too, am now stressed about laughing all the time. My mom stalks you on Instagram. WTF. Slide in those DMs. Shoot your shot. It must be fun to be you. I was told this when a friend asked why I was laughing, and I replied that remembered a joke from a Simpsons episode I watched 3 years earlier. Having the ability to crack yourself up is invaluable. I often make jokes by myself in my car like a lunatic and laugh at myself. But hey, I'm having fun. People always say it's weird when you laugh at your own jokes, but personally I tell jokes for myself. It's just a bonus when other people think they're funny too. My fantastic European accent. I'm from southeastern US. I do not sound European in the slightest, and I wasn't putting on an accent. This person just really thought my country bumpkin voice somehow sounded European. My BFF introduced me to his new girlfriend as the guy who would help hide the bodies. This is the highest level of bro compliment. Sniffs me pretty aggressively. You smell good. She then proceeded to tell me the name of my fragrance. I don't know why, but it weirded me out, laughing my butt off. Accidentally shot the speculum back out at my gynecologist, and they told me I had impressively strong uterine walls. Thanks. I was walking to a smoke shop in the winter, so I fully wrapped my face and hair in a scarf. Only my eyes were visible. When I got to the smoke shop and purchased my item, the cashier told me I was the most beautiful Indian woman in the world. I was so flattered. All this man could see was my eyes. I didn't have the heart to tell him I'm not Indian. I'm black. I just took the compliment and felt great all day. A gay guy told me I was hot, but I stunk like a straight guy. I was queuing at a food shop and the guy behind me whispered to his partner friend while pointing at me, "Who look at me, all rugged and handsome." It was weird because it sounded like he was trying to insult me, trying to make you seem shallow for having good looks, I guess. I love your hairs. It comes off so easily. I was getting a Brazilian wax. Older woman at a festival beer wine line told me that I have a nice, strong looking neck, Adam's apple and jawline like her dad's before he died. Not sure how I feel about it to this day with the whole he died part, but still took the compliment and thanked her. You have beautiful veins. Homosexuals must love your body. I've gotten that before. I'm a straight guy, but I always said thanks as it was a self-esteem boost. True story, last year my wife said to me, "When I look at you, I can tell that when you were younger, that you must have had a really great body. WTF. Your hair looks small." I was in the supermarket buying chips, and my cashier was this lovely elderly lady. I don't know whether you've ever been told this, but you look a lot like Macaulay Culkin, she exclaims as she rings me up in the nicest, most real way. I'm sure she meant it as a compliment, but as a 21-year-old man who has seen recent photos of Macaulay Culkin and has never done meth, I didn't see it that way. Yeah, but elderly lady, she still thinks Culkin is 12. I got praised by a manager at my company for an insightful comment when I actually said something obvious. Then he proceeded to note it down. My partner and I were at a David Sedaris reading in Glasgow years ago. We had dressed up a bit. I was wearing a dress with a square neckline. After the reading, we went up to him to get our books signed. When it was my turn, he looked at me and said, "Wow, you've got fantastic breasts." I said, "Thanks, they're real." To which he replied, "I know, I can tell. For the stid. David Sedaris is gay." Somehow, that made the compliment more meaningful. I also met David Sedaris at a book signing. He wrote, "I'm glad you're alive." I mean, me too. But I always kind of wondered if I looked somehow suicidal that day, or if that's just a thing he says a lot. I had a guy at the bar tell me I had big feet. My feet are size 7, so I'm still puzzled. Sometimes I think about it at like 3 am. This sounds like a shitty pickup artist move called negging. The point is to make an attractive person susceptible to romancing by making them insecure, often by giving a backhanded or ambiguous compliment. I'll make someone a good wife. You have lovely hands. I was told I enunciate very clearly, had a wicked bad speech problem as a kid, and had to go to speech therapy for 7 years. So I guess it's try, but it was still weird in the moment. You can be a very intense person, but it was meant in a good way. Your bone structure gives my bone structure. Oh, okay. I work with the public and this lady was like, "Your skin is so beautiful. I love the color. And so soft." Which would have been okay, except A, I had not touched her in any capacity, and B, she said it like she was planning on roasting me like a chicken and then harvesting it. It took everything in me not to back up, lol. A bodybuilder once asked me how I managed to get my calf muscles so sculpted. I haven't ever done a single calf workout in my life. It can be very difficult to get one's calf sculpted because it has so much to do with genetics. It's not an uncommon source of frustration for bodybuilders. So you've probably got good genes. Or maybe you walk up a lot of hills in your day-to-day life. Butthole supermodel. Edit looked back in the messages and he also said most tongue punchable. You're so skinny. But you don't have to be fat to have a heart attack. Some rando at Target. Back when I was young and skinny. Knowing that I'm a chef as a hobby, a dinner guest said, after finishing the last bite of dessert, "Your cuisine was a culinary triumph." You are an odd fellow, but I must say you steam a good ham. That I have perfect eyebrows. I'm a guy and I get this one pretty frequently from women. I don't do anything with them, and it's made a few female friends of mine jealous over the years. I don't understand how or why they're perfect their eyebrows. But, as I said, I get this one a lot. I was working as a cashier at a dollar store and normally got compliments for having a nice voice. One day a customer was checking out and making small talk. He ended with, "You have a really nice voice. You could be a phone sex operator." I had no idea how to respond. You look like you don't care what people think. Some random dude slapped my ass and told me you got a juicy ass. Woman like juicy ass. First thing coming to mind was the farmer I work for complimenting my deep squat as we crouched planting onions. Oh, and another time I was at a metal gig head banging away and suddenly I get a whack on the head. I looked up and realized there's this huge bald guy in front of me and he had just headbutted me. So I headbutted him back and we went back and forth smashing our heads together for a few seconds, and then he straightened up, looked at me and said, "You're cute," and walked away. Never saw him again. And my head hurt like duck. Damn. You go hard for a guy wearing a cardigan. I've shared this story before, but to give a little background, I absolutely love punk rock and especially love being in the pit at shows. However, I don't really look the type to be there most of the time. In late 2019 I went to see the Distillers in concert in Minneapolis. I had been wanting to see them ever since I was 16 years old. But I never got a chance before they broke up because I was too young for most of their shows. So, with that said, I was super excited for this show. Since I had been waiting about 15 years for it, I decided to wear a grey button-up shirt and a beige cardigan with dark blue jeans. I looked pretty normal, but definitely stood out at the show full of a bunch of punks wearing all black and studs. The show gets going, and I'm having a blast in the pit. I was in it for nearly every song, stopping briefly to catch my breath for a bit before being pushed back in. During one of these breaks, this biker looking dude with a shaved head, tattoos, and a long grey beard puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Damn, you go hard for a guy wearing a cardigan." I thought it was a hilarious and very unexpected, so I just gave him a nod and made my way back in. Definitely paid for it the next day as I was pretty banged up all over. Link, but it was such a great show, and that super random and kinda strange sounding compliment really helped make that night special.